Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. And our first story today. I don't even work here remotely. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. So my last name isn't very common. And as far as I knew, up until this point of the story, I was the only person who had my first and last name. That was until I started receiving the emails. Like most people, I have the firstname.lastname@gmail.com format as my email address. Everybody I know emails me there, and other than the occasional ads, I read pretty much everything in my inbox. So to my surprise, one day I got an email from someone I didn't know. It had attachments, and the subject had a street address for a house in New England. Now, I'm in the Southwest, nowhere near New England. I Googled the address and found that it was a home for sale. I looked at the listing and noticed that the agent had the exact same name as mine. Okay, no problem, I thought. Simple mix-up, especially considering our shared name isn't all that common. I look at the email and see that it's a documentation pertaining to an offer someone has made on the property. In short, it's a boatload of personal information. So I look on the realtor's website, find the guy's actual email address and the contact of the admin there, who presumably manages the office. I forward the email to them and explain that I'm not their guy and the only relation to real estate that I have is that I live in a house. I get no response. Instead, I'm apparently added to their series of internal distribution lists. Now I'm getting all sorts of crap. I reply to the sender of each one saying that I'm not their guy and that I'd really appreciate it if they could remove me from their list because I've already been sent a client's personal info and now I'm privy to their office's inner workings. Not a word back from them, other than more and more emails. It's getting really annoying, just from the fact that I don't like their poor information security, and here are these fools are just actively sending me reams of details that I shouldn't know. One day I get up and see a seemingly mundane email about lunch being served at a meeting they're all having. It looks like everyone from the owner of the agency to all of the lowliest peons have been copied on this email, which goes into detail about what's being served. The final item listed is cookies. So I just hit reply all and ask, "Oh, what sort of cookies?" The owner of the agency replies angrily to me, "You're not supposed to hit reply all, dummy." To which I reply all, again, copying his reply. "I don't even work here, dummy. I've been trying for weeks to get you to realize that, but nobody will ever respond. Have I got your attention now? Get my email address off your distribution list and stop sending me sensitive data. Do it again and I'll let the client know myself." The owner replies with a short, "I apologize. I'll have this corrected immediately." It turns out that immediately was apparently about 2 months later. After several more attempts to get them to correct the issue, the final time I actually did let their client know. I haven't received an email from them since. I've had to do things like this. A realtor kept sending me someone's sensitive information even after I asked them to stop, so I replied all, told everyone on the thread that I was a complete stranger, and while I'd not opened or read their private financial documents, I could have, and they might wish to have a serious conversation with their realtor. The email stopped. And our second story. I work 7 days a week. I'm not in the mood for this. So a bit of background. I work for a street sweeping / lot maintenance company, and I only have Thanksgiving and Christmases as well as bad driving weather days off. So given that I work overnight, every night, I rarely go out to any retail or grocery stores. All right, so I have a couple days off because South Texas decided that it needed to hit its 30-year snow quota, and people around here can't drive worth a damn. So I'm at my closest H-E-B, Texas' superior version of Wally World, and I'm trying to get some much-needed groceries. Now, I'm a man with a plan when it comes to shopping. I always have a list of things I need, and because I have a near photographic memory, doctor said it's around 80% perfect recall, I know exactly where everything I need is. So for sake of ease, I will be M, a 5'11", 26-year-old male. The rude 20-something-year-old female stick in the butt is SB, and the manager is HM. M, walking rather briskly. SB, excuse me. Me, Thinking I'm in someone's way, I step to the side. SB. Excuse me? Me. Realizing she's talking to me, I turn around. Can I help you? Now for a further bit of context, I'm wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and steel-toed boots. Having been raised in the South, I'm really polite with others until they're rude with me because mother didn't raise a pushover. Me. I'm sorry, am I in your way? SB. I've been trying to get your attention for the last 5 minutes. She practically screams this at me. I need you to get this item off the top shelf for me. Me. As polite as ever. Ma'am, I'd be glad to help you, but you don't need to scream at me, especially seeing as how I don't work here. SB. Apparently she thinks I'm lying to her and not trying to do my job even though I'm walking around with a basket of groceries. Don't give me that. I know you work here. I've seen you here before. Ma'am, that isn't possible, seeing as how I've never worked for HEB and I've not been at this particular store in about 3 months. Now I was being very polite with you. But now I'm going to need you to F off now so I can finish my shopping. If you need someone's help, go find a store employee. Good day. Now I know I shouldn't have cursed at her, but I don't like being in stores for very long, and she was really rude with me, so all I hear behind me is her rushing off in a huff while I continue shopping. Cue me being in line at checkout about 5 minutes later, and I see her and one of the managers walking up to me. SB. This is the employee who wouldn't help me and cursed at me. She said it with some kind of righteous indignation. HM. Oh, hey man, how you been? Me. Doing pretty well, at least until this lady decided to scream at me. Now me and this manager go way back, as we are convention and gaming buddies. This she was not prepared for. SB. Why are you greeting him? You should be telling him off. HM. Well, ma'am, he's not an employee for HEB, and as such, I can't do that. Also, me and him have known each other for 10 years now. It'd be really weird to tell him off. Now, I'm going to need you to calm down, or I will ask security to escort you off the premises. Now, she didn't take that very well, and she started going nuts, having a temper tantrum a 3-year-old would be embarrassed to see. This leads to not only security being called, but a police officer happened to witness the altercation and ended up arresting her for creating a disturbance and destruction of private property. HM. After dealing with the situation and signing a police report, HM asked if I was okay. Yeah, I didn't realize I was going to watch a soap opera today, though. HM. Well, you have a good one. Talk to you at game night. Me. Peace. I have no idea what was wrong with that woman. But people, please don't act like that around others. And our third story. Old job. So I was reminded about this little gem. I used to work at a hotel with a restaurant, and one night my boyfriend surprised me after work, and we wanted to get some food close by, so we just went to the restaurant on site. I had changed my shirts, but a few regular guests knew me and asked if this was my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. It was game day in a college town, so some of the fans from out of state who were angry that they couldn't check in early decided that now was the best time to make a scene. My boyfriend and I were at the bar chatting with the bartender, and since they were so busy, I just went to the back to refill our drinks. I come out, and this butthead was standing right there, and some of the drinks knocked onto me. I said, "Excuse me," and tried to go around. He stepped in my way. Now this guy had about a foot on me. I'm only 5'3". He'll be AW for butt wipe, and I'll be me. AW, we want our food now. Me. Well, it appears the restaurant's fairly busy. I'll let the staff know that you've been waiting and have someone check on you. I'd hoped this would be the end of it, and I tried to duck around only for him to block me again. AW, no, I want you to go get my food right now, even if you have to make it yourself. Now, I have worked in the kitchen before, and I can cook, but it's not my job when I work front desk, and I'm not getting paid to cook. Me. No, sir, that's not how this works. I'll gladly pass the information on to the restaurant staff, but I don't work in the restaurant. I work the front desk. So at this point, I just want to get back to the bar with the sweet tea and water and go on my merry way. But I'm almost shaking. AW. You get your sexy butt in that kitchen and make my food, or I'm getting your manager and calling big chain corporate office. Now, I'm a pretty calm person. I've worked front desk at a hotel coming up on 4 years now. I've walked in on exes in bed with my friends and just walked away. but this guy was ticking me off. Sir, I highly suggest you adjust your attitude and let me be on my way. Oh, no way, sweet cheeks. You wouldn't check my party in early, so you're going to march your sexy butt into that kitchen, make my food, and come feed it to me while sitting on my lap, or I'll have you fired. At this point, my boyfriend has come up and heard the last statement, and he looks about ready to hang this guy. The restaurant supervisor and bartender both heard it too. They're red as well. Me. Sir, the restaurant staff and my boyfriend have heard your statements. I'm going to give you a head start to pack up your room. I'm going to finish my meal with my boyfriend and enjoy my time off work. When my meal is done, if you've not turned in your keys to the clerk on duty, you'll be trespassed and the police will come escort you off the property. You will not get a refund for tonight. It's after 11 p.m. at this point. Any issues can be directed to the GM come Monday morning. Now get the hell out of my way. He was finally stunned into silence long enough for me to get around him. About 30 minutes later, he tried to come speak to me again. My boyfriend stood up, and rather than see them get in a fight, I calmly looked his way from talking to the bartender about how ridiculous this was. I held up my hand, and my boyfriend just stood in front of me. Me. Sir, I'm almost done with my food. You've been warned. I really don't want to fill out an incident report and police report. I don't need those problems. So the guy tried to talk, but then thought better of it when the MOD finally came to the restaurant and asked what's going on. The guy grumbled and left. I filled in the MOD, and he goes to make sure the guy leaves, but I was seriously so PO'd about it I was shaking. I guess the guy did leave and tried to tell his bank that the charge was fraudulent, but we had a signed registration card and his initials, so he was charged. Didn't leave a bad review, but we also got in contact with review sites and let them know what happened, and that's the worst sexual harassment I've ever had. And of course, thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one.